before I actually share the screen, I actually want to share our kind of common experience with what a hybrid meeting is. And we like to say that a hybrid meeting is a recovery meeting, service meeting, or special event that utilizes telephone or internet technology to connect at least two physical locations for a portion or the entirety of the event. So that means that somebody is somewhere in a group and they're allowing other people to come take part in that group from a remote location using technology. All right, so let's go to the screen share. So this is the original kind of thing that we used. I don't know, we started it probably back in March, and this is, we talk about accessibility and equipment, all right? So when we talk about accessibility, we mean how do you actually access the remote conferencing application, like Zoom or some kind of conference call or Blue Jeans. And so you're going to use telephone or internet to do that. So now we're looking at some of the basic equipment that you might use. And you can see that a hosting device is the actual piece of equipment that you use to host your meeting. And sometimes that's a cell phone, sometimes that's a tablet, and sometimes that's a laptop or a PC. A lot of people like to use, well, you're always going to have audio unless you are using American Sign Language. You're going to be using a speaker and you're going to be using a microphone. And then if you choose to use video, you're going to be using a webcam and possibly a monitor or a projector. These are some of the common odds and ends things that that you'll get used to seeing, because your host devices have input and output. So they have cables that plug into them, right? You got cables that plug into your speakers, your microphones, your webcams, all that. And these are the common types of connectors that you'll see on these devices. You'll see a USB-A, a USB-C, an HDMI, Bluetooth. If you have an Apple device, you'll usually have a Lightning. The most common is the micro USB there along the bottom. And then you see the headphone jack or an auxiliary cable, the headphone jack over there on the left. All the other crap that you might need, because sometimes you always need extra stuff. Extension cords, you see the power plug AC adapters to plug into the wall, surge protector, maybe you need extension cables for the cables that you're already using. So that's the basics. And now we're going to go into something a little bit more in depth. So number one, establish your accessibility. If you are in a home group and you meet in a building, you need to establish what accessibility you have. Do you have a phone line? Do you have internet there? Do you have wired internet? You know, you need to establish how you're going to get to your remote conferencing application. Common connections are landline telephone, mobile telephone or internet signal, hardwired internet connection, or wireless internet signal. Priority number two is going to be choose a host device. And you're going to choose that device based on what accessibility you have. If you only have a phone line in your meeting space, then you're going to use a phone, right? If you have internet, then you can use a tablet, a cell phone, or a laptop or PC. So audio and video equipment options will be dictated by the input and the output capabilities of your host device. Common host devices are mobile phones, tablets, laptop computers. Priority number three is establish quality audio input. Your microphone is the highest priority piece of hybrid meeting equipment, okay? If other meeting attendees cannot hear you clearly, the entire sharing process breaks down. Many host devices have integrated microphones. However, some are not powerful enough to facilitate a larger meeting size. Analog or digital input signal will dictate the type of external microphone that you can use. So what that means is an analog signal is like XLR or your headphone jack. A digital signal is like USB for your computer or some other kind of input on a tablet or device. So the particular model of microphone that you will choose will be dictated by the compatibility with your host device. So Be mindful to choose a model with the correct pickup pattern for the size of your meeting space, and we'll get to that next. So cardioid and dynamic microphones gather sound from directly in front of the microphone. These are commonly used for a single individual who is speaking. Omnidirectional and condenser microphones gather sound from all directions. These are commonly used for entire groups who are speaking in a single space. Priority number 4 is to establish clear audio output. Many host devices do have an integrated speaker. However, some are not powerful enough to facilitate a larger meeting space. The size of your meeting space, number of attendees, and compatibility with your host device will dictate the model of external speaker that you might choose. Priority number 5, video input. Many host devices do have an integrated camera. However, the shape and the aspect ratio of that video stream can be unsatisfactory in some situations. If you choose to connect an external webcam, check compatibility with your host device. Be mindful that streaming video can greatly affect the audio quality in locations where internet signal is not very strong. It is also a considerate practice to create a portion of your meeting space for attendees who do not wish to be streamed on camera. And priority number 6, video output. Common methods for video output include a laptop monitor, a tablet monitor, television screens, and projectors. Always check compatibility with your host device and be mindful to have all the extra cables and connectors you might need. Here you can see some basic information about the beginning of what is now the North Star Online NA group. You can see from the picture that things were a bit disorganized in the beginning. Many cables and connectors spread out everywhere. However, you can persevere like we did. We developed a repeatable process and checklist for setting up the equipment. This was helpful in training new volunteers and relieving stress for the meeting hosts. Step number 1, turn on your host device and connect to your chosen remote conferencing application. Step number 2, connect the microphone and test. Step number 3, connect the speaker and test. Step number 4, connect the webcam and check the video stream. Step number 5, connect the projector and check the video feed. And as you can see from this picture, we became much more organized as we gained experience. And our final slide. Here's some final thoughts, okay? Accessibility is the key factor in hybrid meetings. You match your equipment to your experience level and available finances, and mentors are available to help you. We found mentors, and that's how we were able to accomplish what we have. There are also many resources to help you available at www.na.org/virtual. And thank you for allowing us to share this today.